Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I want to do a speed test between 3 sets of CPUs. I have gotten 2 sets of CPUs from subscribers that has sent a pair of CPUs to me, and that's really awesome. And I will again thank Jared from the United States and Christoph from Germany, who has sent me nice letters and nice CPUs. And I have a couple of CPUs myself that I'm gonna be comparing them with. Let's go to this table thing and see what we can come up with. Okay, here are the CPUs that I'm gonna be installing in 3 different blade servers. First I have the one from Christoph, and these are the Intel Xeon 5130s, and these are dual core 2 GHz processors. Over here we have the processors from Jared in the United States, Pennsylvania, and these are quad core 3 GHz processors, and they're the E5450. And over here is a couple of my processors, and these are very similar to these. These are also 3 GHz quad cores, but these are the X5450s. So we're gonna see the difference between these two. That's actually the primary goal. What's the difference between this processor and this processor? This processor is a bit more expensive than this processor, and I really wanna see if you get anything for your money if you get an X series compared to an E series. We're gonna be putting these in some blade servers and do some render test. Here is a blade server. We're gonna be putting in Jerry's CPUs in this one, and that's because this blade is a model that can do the 5400 series. We turn that around. There is 2 kinds of system boards in these. One of the system boards can do the 5300 series, and the other one can go up to the 5400 series. And that depends on what system board you have in this. So I'll go get a screwdriver and we can take this apart. To take the processors out, we need to take the front of the server out a little bit. There is 2 blue things here to do that. Come on, like this. Because the heat sinks go in here, it's a bit hard to get that out otherwise. So we'll unscrew this, and I'm doing a little bit at the time so the heatsink does not go up on one side and maybe damage the processor. And I will go outside and remove this. Okay, I took the processors out. They're over here, both of them. Cleaned them up a bit. Don't want dirty processors in my storage. It seems that this blade server has originally come with 1 processor, and then it has been upgraded with 1 more, and these are the Intel Xeon quad cores E5420s. We are gonna be upgrading this. Oh, and these are 2.5 GHz. So we're gonna be upgrading them to 3 GHz with these 2 processors. So we'll be putting those in, and those go. This server has been upgraded with the processors, so I'm going to be putting that back and take out the next one and upgrade that with the X5450s. And I'm gonna be doing exactly the same thing, so I'm not gonna be filming that. These servers have 16 gigabytes of memory. They have one hard drive. They have an empty bay here, so I could put in another hard drive. Well, they're pretty nice. Here are the X5450s, and they're going in. Now they are mounted, so I'm just gonna be locking up again. I'm gonna do the same thing with these two Intel Xeon 5130s. These are the 2 GHz dual cores. And the two 2 GHz all done. Okay. I took this out of one of these, number 12 over here, so that I didn't have to do a lot of double work. But well, let's power this on. We are looking at the two 5130s, 2 GHz. Let's see the other ones. This should be... oh, it's already surpassed that. Yeah, they are already booting. So here on the first plate we got the E5450, 3 GHz. Go to the second plate. Change over. We have the X5450. Also 3 GHz, and if I go all the way to number 12, hello, oh, there we are. We have the 5130s, 2 GHz dual cores. So let's go into the computer and see what this can do. In here at the computer, it's actually the next day. This has been teasing me all night. Last night, this blade server number 12 that I put the two, well, you can see it right here, the 5130s in 2 GHz, that has just been hilariously teasing me. It was not able, I could change the IP number. This is the IP number that I would really like to go with, so I put that in, and then I tried to like do a ping to it, and there would be no answer whatsoever. Or we can just try it again. It should be working now because I have already added it to my vCenter thingy. So now it's good. Don't need that no more. But I thought it was a bad network card. So I took the hard drives out of the blade server and put it over into another blade server and put the CPUs over in that blade server. Couldn't understand why it wouldn't boot on the hard drives. Found out that I had to activate the RAID thingy or the disk or something, the disks in the RAID, and then it would boot, and then the network card would be just as dead. So it wasn't the network card. So I reinstalled VMware ESXi 6.0 and now it works. It sounds easy enough, but it took all night. So we have this blade server. Let's just minimize that for a bit. And we have, I'm on a remote server here. This is what you call a jump station, and I have still the remote disk open here. I'm under ISO file over to the blade server, and it boots on that. And as you can see over here, this is the I don't know, I might be blocking that down here. As you can see here, this is the ESXi 6.0. We don't need that anymore. I have reinstalled it. So now I have the, let's see, some summary. Will that do? Yeah. This is my IBM/Lenovo Blade Center H. And right now number 1 and number 2 is on, those two. And number 12 is on. And that's the one I was just looking at. It's the number 12 out here. The real host is called number 32. So let's minimize that. Behind that I have my vCenter thingy here. That one is not being used. I'm right now transferring a virtual machine, one of my render servers, from this server. It's number 14 that I'm transferring down here to number 142 so that I don't need to reinstall that. But it's actually pretty slow. I don't know. I should put in some more network cards in my servers. I do believe that's my bottleneck at the moment. So we're gonna be doing that. And over here at the side, you might have seen this already, I have another server or virtual machine. This is actually a Windows 7, and that's the render thingy. So we need to decide how many frames we have to do. Not too few and not too many, because this takes a while. We have like these two, the Blade servers. This is the one, let's go see that. This is the one with the E5450 3GHz, and this one down here is the one with the X5450. That's the two that I'm really gonna wanna be comparing, but it was actually the other one that was teasing me, like this one. There we have. That has 4 cores down here, logical cores 4, and it's 2 GHz. It only has 12 GB of memory, but well, we are only gonna be running one virtual machine on it. These has 16 GB of memory, and they're gonna be running 2 virtual machines. And I do believe the virtual machines, they have 8 GB each, so that's gonna be okay, I guess. I'm gonna be testing this by rendering this Hummer, and if you follow my channel, you will have seen this before, because that's how I usually do it. And I'm gonna see which machines are able to do this the fastest. I always use 4 cores on each render server, so these machines over here that has 2 times 4 cores, they have 2 render servers, and this one down here, which is only gonna have 4 cores even though it has 2 processors, that will only get 1 render server. When this is transferred, now it's 50%, I'll be right back and we will start the render. Okay, now it has completed moving this number 14 from up here. Now there should be only number 13 left. Yes, so number 14 is here, that's good. And we have number 1, 2, 3 and 4 and number 14. So that's the ones we're going to be testing with. And I have here, this is my old 2003 server, and I've been using this for my 3D Max manager. That's the manager over here. Kind of says there's a new job. Oh, I deleted the jobs, yes. Okay, right now there is no render servers available. If I scroll down here, all of these servers are absent. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be turning on some servers, the ones that we're gonna be needing for this test. So we're gonna just go through these and press power on. The render service is set up to automatically boot and log in and be ready to render, and they should pop up down here if we do a bit of a refresh. Be there in just a second or two. That actually took quite a bit of persuasion to get those machines in here, but now they're here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and number 14, and they are running on the right servers. So here they are. So we're gonna be minimizing this for a little bit and look at something else. Here we have our Hummer, and we're gonna be, let's just say we have 5 render servers. So if we gave those 3 frames each, that would be 15 frames, including number 0. So we have to do that, should be number 14. I'm not sure that that's gonna be happening, but well, they should be. We are gonna apply this to network rendering, and we're gonna give it some name, 5, just to choose something. I'm gonna connect to my render server, and we're gonna have to have these in order. We have the 5 servers here, 1, 2, 3, 4 and number 14, check. And we're just gonna be rendering that on all servers. They're all servers, and submit. There we are. We can now do more work if that was what we wanted, but we can also just close that. I don't think we're gonna be needing that anymore. It's a funny mistake. I'm not able to open this when I've minimized it. I'm not sure why. So I have to close it, go in here and open it again. And it's down here. That's why I usually just drag it out into the corner. So, okay. The job has been sent. I can minimize that one, that's okay. And it's Hummer number 5. And let's get some info on this job. Number of frames 15. And job schedule there. It has sent 1 frame to each of the 5 render servers out here, and it will come and tell me how long each of these servers was doing this job, and that's really how I'm testing this. I use a lot of my servers for this rendering, so what number they return on how long they took on render this frame is kind of the best indication of how fast this CPU is for this job. Instead of doing all kinds of weird other stuff, that's how I do this. So, but let's go see one of the servers, see which one is come the furthest. This is the E5450. Oh, there are unused icons on my desktop. Who the hell came up with that crap? There's always a lot of crappy messages. But you can see it's working down here. Doing the 4 CPUs that these machines has. We can see those here. Task Manager and Performance. It has 4 CPUs and it's maxing out the CPUs. Just gonna close that again, don't want to stress it. You can see the boxes here. It's not very often you can actually see those boxes, but that represents 1 core. So that's why they render 4 of these boxes at once, and when they complete they move on to the next box. Let's see this one. And it's also moving along. I don't know which one is furthest. It looks like they're very, very, very close. I can't see any differences. Oh, that's pretty cool. So I will return when this is done. So now it has done all but 1 frame, and I've been counting here and I can see that number 14 has done 2 frames, but it was too slow to get the last frame that was supposed to go for it, and instead number 1 here took that. What I can see out of this is that this frame was the fastest one, and it was done by server number 2. And if we go over and see server number 2, I've just been looking at this server, how it was performing, and server number 2 is on the first blade server, and that's the blade server that has the E5450. So actually this server did the best in this test with the E5450 in it. That's pretty awesome. If we go, number 1 is still working on the last frame. It doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna let it end. The other servers has completed and they're just waiting. They are very, very equal. Let's just say 3 and 4 is on the X5450 and 1 and 2 was on the E5450. And it's like every time it seems that the E5450 beats it by just a little bit. Apparently that processor did a tiny bit better in this test than the X5450, which is surprising because here I have the E5450 on the CPUbenchmark.net page and it scores 4305.
and it has a price about $67. If we go a bit further down, we should hit the X5450 right there. Oh, it actually scores less. I didn't know that. I thought the X5450 would be the best one, but apparently the E5450 scores a little bit better. And that's also what my test shows. I think we will have to investigate further. Further investigation, I'm here on Intel's homepage where I found the two processors and I'm comparing them. And this is the Hoppertown processor. They're both end of life and they were discontinued 2010, and they are very equal. There is a difference in the price. Actually the E is more expensive. This is that's not what they're worth today. You can get these for quite a bit less, but it seems that the E is just a little bit better. It only uses 80 watts instead of the 120 watt that the X uses. They have exactly the same specs down here, all the same. That was actually a surprise to me. I would think that this one was the best. I did not see this one coming.
Really cool. I got something new out of this today. I didn't know this. I thought that the other processor was gonna beat it, but that didn't happen. This one won. Weird. If anyone knows why this one won, it does get a little bit better numbers and it uses 40 watts less each. So that's 80 watts less that these two processors use, and it still beats the other one. That's cool. This was an eye-opener for me. I didn't know that the X5450 would be beat by the E5450. Surprise! Thank you very much to Jared and to Christoph from the United States and from Germany for sending me these awesome CPUs in pairs. It makes it so much easier to play around with it in a server. Thank you very much for sending them. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again. And join me over at Google Plus, where I do post pictures from time to time, what I'm up to, and comment on these videos. And I can do a lot more stuff over at Google Plus. I can post pictures. I can't do that on YouTube. So have a really nice day. Bye bye.